y'all, Kay here with Big Dreams Designs. I have kind of a unique project that I've been asked to do, and I thought I would video and do a tutorial and show y'all how I go about doing it. What I have here is just a bandana that was given to someone, and it has a embroidery design on it. Well, they no longer necessarily want to use it as a bandana, but they would like to make it a patch and put it on a vest that that they own, so they can still have the fabric and the sentimentality that goes behind it. So what I'm going to do here, basically, what I have to do is I have to measure the design, because I have to create the patch outline. Okay, I have the design here, and it is roughly about 3 3/4 of an inch. We also have to compensate for the space of the outer satin stitch, and I like to do around say a 5mm satin stitch. That is roughly about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, let's go lengthwise. We said it was about 3 3/4. So, and we have to add at least 1/4 of an inch for both sides here. So 2/4 of an inch is at 1/2 an inch. So let's add another 1/2 an inch. That's 4 1/4. Let's go ahead and just make the whole design. We'll make it about 4 1/2 inches wide. Okay. Let's just kind of do a rough measure of our height. We're at about 1 3/4. So let's go to our computer and I'll show you how we create the design for the patch. Okay, we're here in the Stitch Era Liberty software, and the first thing that I would do here is I would go to artwork, and I would create a vector just using a simple 2mm outline. Shapes, we're going to use a rounded corner. Now we're going to let's go ahead and size it to the size we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to layout. Let's make it 4 1/2 this way, and let's go 2.75 high. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go to embroidery, path, and path with running stitch. Let's go ahead and just select auto and auto complete. Let's go up in here. There we go. And that is going to be our placement stitch. Hit enter, generate our stitches. Okay, let's go ahead and hide this for now. We don't need it. Alright, there's our placement stitch. We're going to copy, paste in place, change this to a different color. That will be our tack down stitch. I do want to run the tack down stitch. I want to run that one twice. This is the number of repeats here. Okay, now we're going to, let's paste in place once again. You've seen any of my other videos where I do some freestanding applique or patch type designs. I like to do my own underlay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one, change it to a different color. I'm going to change it to a zigzag stitch. I'm going to keep it, let's go 4mm. My path offset, I want to take it up to about 75%. And what that does is that puts the design, okay, let's go the other way. Let's go path offset. Let's take it up to 25. I went the wrong way. Basically, we want 1/4 of it on the outside of the edge. There we go. That's correct. Alright, I don't want the density this high for this because it's just an underlay, so I'm just going to take it to a 1.5 density. See, we have 25% of the edge over on this side and the 75% on this side. Let's do an underlay. Let's do a edge-centered underlay. Okay, see, so we have our supporting stitches that'll hold all of this together along the edges. It'll reinforce and solidify our stitches. Okay, and the final thing we're going to do here is we're going to right click, we're going to copy, and we're going to paste this one in place. Okay, let's change the color. Let's change the density on this one. This is our final satin stitch. So let's go up to a 5. Path offset still is at 25%. Let's go to a 5.5 density. Let's increase that quite a bit because I like a good solid satin stitch around the edge. Okay, and we do not really need any underlay. We've already done that. Okay, and the final thing we do with each section is we just go and we check to see where our start and our stop points are. Okay, now we're going to make sure we start at first section, that we end at last section, and we center our design. Okay. And we should be good to go. Let's go stitch it out. Okay, we're over here at our machine now. I want to take a minute to show you an option that's often not used on the machine, but in this instant, because of the specific placement of the design within the applique, I want to make sure that I have enough room, and I don't want to take the hoop off of the machine to do that. So I have the design loaded into the machine. I'm going to go ahead and set my color order, and we're going to do that. The first thing it's going to stitch is a placement stitch. You hit the center button to make it stop. You're going to lay down your fabric. The second one will be a tack down stitch. We're going to also stop there. And then we're going to do our underlay and our final satin stitch. Enter. Now, in order to do a offset, you hit the green button on your panel and you're going to select offset position set. What this will do is wherever you set your pantograph here to come to, then every time there's a stop, it will move out to that spot. You hit go again, it moves back to where it should be. So we're going to select the number 4 option, offset position set. We're going to hit enter, and it says to move to offset, press enter key. I'm just going to scoot it out here on the table where I have a little more room to get it directly placed. So I like it right there, and then we're going to hit enter. Another thing that I did, because we're doing this, I also wound a bobbin to match the final satin stitch thread. They're both going to be the front and the back. If you want to know how I did that, there's another video on this channel that shows how I go about winding bobbins that have of the same color. Okay, so we're going to hit go. See there, it moved out to where we set it. I have spray basted on a piece of cutaway stabilizer to stiffen the patch a little bit. So it doesn't matter which way we put this, so we'll just do it this way, the easiest. All right, the easiest way to do this is just kind of eyeball it. We're just going to make sure that it sits as even as we can. All right, I think that looks pretty straight to me. Now we're going to trim around that tack down stitch. We're going to trim as close as possible. We're going to trim both the cutaway stabilizer and the fabric. Okay, we have it trimmed as close as possible, and we're going to do the final underlay and satin stitch. Okay, we have finished stitching out our design, and I think it turned out pretty awesome. And you just, after you've trimmed around the patch, you take a Q-tip, a wet Q-tip, or just some water, whatever, little rag or water, and just go around the edge, and it will remove any little piece of the stabilizer left. We'll show you what it looks like when it's put on. Thanks for watching.